The galaxy was quiet. For hundreds of years there had been no big wars, no large battles. The unified Galactic Concordance, a group of many alien species, ruled with peace and order. They had powerful ships, smart leaders, and strong laws. Everyone believed that danger was gone forever. On a large space station called Virex 9, life was calm. Officers drank sweet drinks, played games, and talked about how lucky they were to live in such peaceful times. Even the guards on patrol moved slowly, not expecting any trouble. In one control room, a young officer named Kellen Varn watched the long-range scanners. He was new, but he paid attention to small details. Something caught his eye. A blip at the edge of known space. It was far away, past the last trade routes and deep into empty darkness. Kellen stood up and walked over to his commander, a tall alien with green skin and 4 eyes. "Sir," he said, "we picked up something strange. An object entered through what looks like a collapsed wormhole." The commander barely looked up from his screen. "Probably space junk or a broken probe," he said, waving a hand. "But it's moving," Kellen said, "and it's big." Other officers nearby laughed. One joked, "Maybe it's a lost pizza ship from the old war." Everyone chuckled. Even Kellen smiled a little. "Still," the commander said, "send a scout team to check it out, just to be sure." A small alien ship, Zarathra E, was sent. Its crew was small and relaxed. They didn't expect much. Their mission: take a quick look, send back data, and come home. As they flew closer to the anomaly, the readings got stranger. Energy levels were high. Mass was unknown. It wasn't showing up clearly on scans. "This isn't normal," said Laura, the science officer. "It's like it doesn't want to be seen. Or it's broken," said Dax, the security officer. "Either way, we'll know soon enough." Finally, after hours of travel, they saw it. A dark shape floating in space. It was damaged, covered in dust and time. It looked old, very old. "No markings," said Miko, the tech expert. "Not from any known race." "Try hailing it," said the captain. They sent signals. No response. "Should we board it?" asked Dax. The captain thought for a moment. "Yes, prepare a team." While they made plans, the dark ship floated silently. Inside, nothing seemed alive. But deep within, something stirred. Something ancient. Something human. None of them knew what was coming. None of them expected what would happen next, because on that broken ship, hidden in the shadows of space, the nightmare from Earth had begun to wake up. The alien crew of Zarathra moved carefully through the dark ship. Their lights cut through the dust and silence. Everything was old, broken, and covered in time. They walked slowly, weapons ready, but not expecting trouble. "This place has been dead for a long time," said Dax, checking his scanner. "Maybe centuries," Laura added. "But something powered up recently." Miko looked at his device. "There's energy down this hall, weak but real." They followed the signal deeper into the ship. The walls creaked as if they were breathing. Finally, they reached a sealed door. It was thick and covered in strange markings. Letters they didn't know. "Human," said a voice behind them. Everyone turned. Standing at the end of the hall was a man. He was tall, with rough skin and tired eyes. He wore an old suit that looked like armor. Scars ran across his face and hands. "What?" asked Dax, raising his weapon. "You heard me," the man said. "This is a human ship." No one moved. The word meant nothing to them. They had never met a human before. "How are you alive?" Laura asked, confused. "Cryo-sleep," he said simply. "I woke up when we hit the wormhole." He stepped forward. Slowly, hands open. "My name is Caleb." The aliens looked at each other. "You're alone?" asked Miko. "For now," Caleb said, "but more will wake soon." Kellen, watching from the station, listened through the comms. He felt uneasy. "We need to leave," he said over the radio. "Get back to the ship." "Wait," Laura said. "We should learn more," Caleb nodded. "You should listen, because when the others wake up, things will change." Just then, the floor shook. A low hum filled the air. Lights flickered on along the walls, red and cold. "What's happening?" Dax yelled. Miko checked his screen. "Something's powering up fast." Outside, in space, the dark ship began to glow. Panels opened. Sensors turned on. Deep inside, other pods were waking. "Get out!" Kellen shouted. "Now!" But it was too late. A loud sound broke through the ship, a deep, mechanical voice in a language no one knew. Then came the alarms. Then came the movement. Metal doors slid open all around them. Figures began to rise, tall, strong, dressed in old gear, eyes glowing with life again. Humans. One by one they stepped out of the darkness, silent, watching, waiting. Laura took a step back. Who are they?" Caleb looked at her and smiled just a little. "Survivors." Then, outside the ship, a new sound echoed through space. Boom. A shockwave hit Zarathra. Explosions lit up the hull. Beams of fire shot from the ship toward the scout vessel. "What the hell?" Dax shouted. "They're attacking," Miko yelled. The humans hadn't fired yet, but something else had. From the edge of space, drop pods began to fall. Dozens of them. Burning through the stars like falling nightmares. Earth had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same. Ago, before the stars went quiet, Earth was a broken place. Wars never stopped. Bombs fell from the sky. Machines turned against people. Plague spread fast and killed millions. Cities burned. Governments fell. Nature fought back, but so did humans. In the end, only a few survived. They lived in ruins underground or on floating islands in the sea. They learned to fight for food, for shelter, for life itself. But some had a plan. Deep underground labs built ships, thousands of them. Not fancy, not clean, but strong. They carried seeds, tools, weapons, and people who could survive anything. They called them Arc ships. Each ship had one mission: fly into space, sleep for centuries, and wake up when they found a new home. Most ships drifted forever, lost in the dark. Some crashed into stars. Others floated with no power, no life inside. But some worked. And now, after hundreds of years, they were waking up. One of those ships landed on a moon owned by the unified Galactic Concordance. It was small, gray, and full of cracks. No one noticed it at first. It looked like junk. Inside, lights blinked on. Metal doors opened with a hiss. Steam poured out. Cold pods cracked open. People stepped out. Some wore old military clothes. Others had armor made from scrap. Their eyes were sharp, tired, and angry. A woman named Maya stood at the front. She used to be a soldier. Now, she was a leader. "Status?" she asked. A man next to her checked his device. "Oxygen good. Power low. We're alone for now." She nodded. "Good. We take what we need and move fast." Outside, the moon was quiet. Alien towers watched the stars. Robots moved slowly along the ground, checking systems. No one expected trouble. Then came the explosions. Humans broke out of the ship like ghosts returning from the dead. They moved fast, shot quietly, and took control without mercy. Within minutes, the moon belonged to them. Back at Virex 9 station, Kellen Varn saw the reports come in. "What happened?" he asked. "Attack," said an officer. "Fast, brutal, the whole base is gone." "By who?" "Humans." Kellen stared at the screen. More signals were coming in. Other moons, stations, even mining worlds. All showing the same thing. Human. Ships landing, humans fighting, humans winning. The galaxy had been asleep. Now Earth had woken up, and the nightmare had just begun. Kellen Varn sat alone in a small room on Virex 9 station. All around him, screens showed reports, maps, and captured footage of humans fighting across the galaxy. He had watched enough to understand one thing clearly. These humans were not just Soldiers. They were survivors. He read old files, records from Earth that no one had looked at in centuries. They told stories of endless war, broken cities, and people who refused to die. There were plagues that turned the sick into monsters, machines that killed without feeling, and leaders who lied until no one trusted anyone. It was a world where only the strong lived. And the ones who came to space? They were the strongest, of them all. Kellen shared what he learned with his commander, but most of it was ignored. They are dangerous, the commander said. But they are few. We will crush them like bugs. Others in the unified Galactic Concordance agreed. Some wanted to drop bombs on human-held worlds. Others wanted to trap them and leave them to starve. But Kellen didn't think that would work. He went to the prison cells where captured humans were kept. One of them was Caleb. Tired, bruised, but still calm. "Why are you doing this?" Kellen asked. Caleb looked at him for a long time before speaking. "Doing what?" "Fighting us, taking our worlds, killing so many." Caleb sighed. "We're not trying to kill everyone, we're trying to live." "You could ask for help," Kellen said. Caleb laughed softly. "And wait for you to decide if we're worth it?" "No, we've done that before. Back home. Waiting got us nothing. But death." Kellen didn't know what to say. Later, he found Maya in another part of the station. She had been hurt during capture, but she stood tall. Her eyes burned with something he couldn't name. "You think we're monsters?" she said, before he could speak. "But we didn't come here to conquer. We came here because we had no choice." "Earth is gone," Kellen said. "You can't go back." "No," she said, "but we can build something new, even if we have to fight for every inch." Kellen left the room feeling more confused than ever. Humans were not like any enemy the galaxy had faced before. They didn't want gold or power. They didn't want to rule anyone. They just wanted to survive, and they would do anything to make that happen. Back on the command floor, he listened as leaders argued about how to wipe humans out. He finally spoke. Maybe instead of killing them," he said, "we should try to understand them." The room fell silent. Then someone laughed. But Kellen knew the truth. The humans weren't going anywhere, and the galaxy was going to have to learn to live with them. The unified Galactic Concordance had seen enough. They gathered a huge fleet near a dead moon called Thalos 3. It was far from major worlds, easy to control, and perfect for what they planned. They would end this war in one strike. On the surface of Thalos 3, humans had built a base inside the ruins of an old alien outpost. Thousands of them lived there now. Soldiers, engineers, families who had survived the long journey from Earth. Caleb and Maya both stood among them. "They're coming," said Eli, a young man with quick hands and faster thoughts. He used to fix machines before the fall of Earth. Now, he hacked enemy systems from broken terminals. Caleb looked at the sky. "How many?" Eli checked his screen. "Too many." Above the moon, dozens of alien warships took position, sleek, powerful, and filled with soldiers who had never lost a battle. Their leader, Commander Rylox, gave the order. "Glass the surface. No survivors." But just as the first beam weapons powered up, something strange happened. Every ship's system began to fail. Screens went dark. Weapons locked up. Engines stuttered. From deep within the human base, Eli smiled. "Showtime," he whispered. He had spent weeks planting small devices on captured ships, hiding programs in enemy networks. Now, all at once, those programs woke up. Across the alien fleet, panic spread. "What's happening?" Rylock shouted. "We've been hacked," someone yelled back. Lights flickered. Doors sealed shut. Navigation systems turned against their own crews. At the same time, hidden launch pads on the moon opened. Human fighters shot into space like angry bees. They were fast, rough, and packed with stolen tech. And behind them came the drop pods. Humans jumped into the fight without fear. They landed on ships, broke through hulls, and fought their way inside. Back on the moon, Maya stood on a command tower and spoke into a loud channel. "This is Maya of Earth," she said. We are not monsters, we are not invaders. We just want to live. But if you try to kill us, we will fight back. Her voice echoed across every ship, every station, every world in range. Kellen Varn heard it from Viewership 9 station. He stood frozen. Listening around him, officers argued. We must respond with full force. Cut all comms with that signal. But Kellen only watched the screen. Below, on Thalos 3, the battle still raged and the galaxy was starting to listen. The battle over Thalos 3 lasted for hours. Ships crashed into each other. Fire burned in space. People died on both sides. By the end, no one could say who had truly won. What they did know was this. The humans had not been destroyed. And now, the galaxy had no choice but to talk. On Viewership 9 station, Kellen Varn stood before the Council of the Unified Galactic Concordance. Leaders from many species sat in a large room, arguing, shouting, trying to decide what to do next. They are dangerous, said one. We must wipe them out. We tried, said another, and failed. Kellen stepped forward. There is another way, he said. One we have not tried yet. Everyone turned to him. What are you suggesting? Asked the head counselor. Talk, Kellen said. Peace. A few laughed. Some looked angry, but others stayed quiet. He continued. Humans are not like us. They have lived through hell. They fight because they don't know any other way to survive. But they are not evil. They want to live just like us. Silence filled the room. Finally, the head counselor spoke. You think we can trust them? No, Kellen said. Not at first. But if we give them a chance, maybe they will give us one too. After long talks, an agreement was made. Not peace, not yet, but a start. A world was chosen. It was empty, dry, and cold. No one lived there. It had no value to the Concordance. It was given to the humans. Caleb and Maya stood on its surface looking up at the sky. Our own world, she said. Kind of. Not much, Caleb replied. But it's a start. Behind them, humans began to build. Shelters, farms, homes. Children ran across the dust, laughing like they didn't know how hard life could be. Kellen arrived a few days later as the first ambassador to human space. He looked around and saw something strange. Hope. He walked up to Maya. You really think you can make this work? She smiled. We've done harder things. As the sun set on their new home, the stars above seemed different, like they were watching, waiting, because Earth had come to space, and nothing would ever be the same again.